Hello, everybody. This is Frogman, and welcome back to Ultimate Alchemy. This is going to be episode number 13. Last episode, we spent a bit of time working on getting the refined storages, parts, pieces made, built, and whatnot, and I got a bunch of stuff down there. We'll take a look at that in just a second. I just wanted to come up here and make sure everything was still working correctly. Looks like we're doing good here. I have a external storage on this crafter here so I can check the amount of the TNT that is in there because we still have the network connector right there, network receiver, whatever you want to do it, so I can actually monitor that and see what's going on. We have been using a bit of the sand and a few of the other things coming out over here, so let's go check down here and check this system out. We've done a fair bit of work. All of the machines back there, all of that ore processing, all of the production, this is all gone now. It's moved into a building, which we're going to go take a look at in a second. I went ahead and got a quick empower, set up so that I could craft the advanced laser relays because I was needing a little bit more power. So a laser relay here, these guys just require a laser relay with 2 empowered Inuri crystals, and those are made as such in an empowerer. Empowerers require the ability to use an atomic reconstructor, so it's one of those, we could have done this a long time ago. It's not a big deal. This is just one of those down and dirty ways of automating it. You just hook power up to all the sides, and then you stick hoppers in all of the corners and a hopper on the bottom of the main one, and it will just run through all of its parts. So we have a whole lot of crafters up here, at least a few of them now. I'm going to have to come up with a place to put these because this is not where this is going to live. I do now have 2 64K storage disks in that thing. That will last me for quite a while. Pattern grid, crafting monitor, various things. Got a couple of the systems out of here moved out. I went ahead and did that to the drying rack so I can make some ender pearls because I needed a bunch of ender pearls. Kind of just rounding around doing a few things. I did move the lava production down here. Replaced a couple of parts. This is going to be functional for a while. We don't really need a lot of lava, so I was looking at doing the lava generator or the lava fabricator from Actually Additions. I don't need a lot of it, so I'm not really concerned about it, so that'll work for now. This basement is going to be where we do various things like that, so I just didn't feel like moving it over into the other building. So let me get out of here. And let me see, more updates is down here in the power generation station. All of these guys have been upgraded to the signalum based types, and they have been given their 3rd auxiliary transmission coil so that we can manage to keep our power up and running. And as you can see, I have been running down a little bit on the power, so we're going to have to take a look at that. Ooh, I am about out of redstone, looks like. Are you guys still have redstone in you? No wonder we're running out of power. Let's go do something about that really quickly. Since we have all that grid power, do I have any speed upgrades? I do have 4. Excellent. So we'll just worry about that. We'll put those in that guy down here, and hopefully that will let him keep up with the process. You already have 4 upgrades. Why are you so slow, homeboy? We might have to change that out. That's going to be a problem already. You're out of redstone, and you're out of redstone. Wonderful. Well, let's go for the time being. I will go up here and do this, because I have lots of redstone. So we'll just do that for right now. I should probably grab a bunch of the blocks, but whatever. We'll just toss a bunch of those in that chest, and that should get us through the part of the episode that we need to look at today. So go do that, please. Hey, go in the chest. There we go. All right. That'll fill those back up, hopefully, and get some power going. We needed to do this because we needed to kind of upgrade a few things, and since I went and built this building, I went ahead and automated a whole bunch of stuff using a bunch of the machines that we have available to us. So on this wall are the things that I have set up for various crafting recipes. So, you know, the smelting patterns, some of the grinding patterns, some of the alloy patterns, as well as I'm going to start needing to do some of the plate patterns. I have the resonator up, and this guy is doing me a job for doing coal coke, which I'm going to need eventually. So I'm going to do that and put some more back in there, and that needs to go in there before it accidentally fills it up. I have the atomic reconstructor, currently automated with these various recipes because those are the ones that we need for various actual additions parts. I went ahead and built a blast furnace with 2 preheaters on it so that we can be making steel. I'm using the charcoal that I am getting out of the process blocks wise to make this thing function. We are using this coke oven here to make coal, so pulverized charcoal into coal process. And I have a crusher up here that is taking care of this problem, and it's being fed charcoal. And all these guys, both these 2 guys, are being sped up using the under porcupine and the the mechanical user with the speed upgrade dealy majigger in him. So I do have a little bit of a storage drawer system going on over here, just so that we can do the normal with storage drawers. I wanted to be able to have the block forms of all of those things, and there's no point in wasting a crafting slot for that. So on this wall is where we're doing our production of various materials. So in this crafter, I'm making the statue of the thinker that we need for various things in refined storage as well as other deals. This redstone furnace, this signalum redstone furnace, is making charcoal for me. This pulverizer is taking compressed cobblestone and making compressed gravel. This one is taking compressed gravel and making compressed sand. This crusher is taking pistons and making the ender shards. These guys are taking levers and making the redstone. This one is taking torches and making glowstone, and then so on down the line. So iron, tin, copper, glass. This is what? Gold. This is silver. This is obsidian, and this one down here, this sawmill, is taking sugar canes and making sugar and pulp biomass. Which we're going to use for a later on down the road process. I just wanted to be making a bit of it, so I'm actually doing pretty well. Looks like I might have to change that from a void, but whatever. And I have a whole bunch of slag. Now, that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to use the blast furnace, is because if we use slag and pulp biomass, we can make dirt. So we're going to be using that in maybe this after maybe this episode, if we can get the first thing that I want done. So I guess the problem for today that I want to work on is I want to start doing some of the basic stuff that we are required to be able to make clay. So if we go back into the clay function here, we have to be able to craft all of this stuff. So we're going to work on the dirt. The dirt is not important as far as necessary right now. I don't need these 2 things at this point. What I want to look at is the automation of bone meal. Now, bone meal, supposedly there's many different ways you're supposed to be able to make it. I'm thinking probably what they want us to do is use a forestry peat bog to craft bone meal. And, I can do that. I just don't really feel like doing it that way. So what I want to do is I want to come out here onto this little bitty platform that I'm starting to work on, and I'm kind of wondering, can we get it a little bit closer to that? I want to automate bone meal in a different fashion. I want to automate the bone meal. Where is my thing? I want to automate the bone meal in a fashion that will allow me to use, we're going to get another system up and running, so I want to make this just a little bit wider. I should have made it a little bit wider, but that's okay, because I want access to the back of this wall. I want to share the functionality of that range collector right in this area. So I guess I will have to fix this up later, and we're going to have give me a torch or 2. Can we see out here? Where are those torches at? They are right there. Give me a torch. Thank you. Just so we can see what we're doing. Torch and torch, thank you very much. We can put those back in the system. So, bonk. I'm using interfaces up here to export the various things that I need, because that way I can just use the item conduits, and I'm using some of the cruddy energy conduits. That's why we're going to be making a bunch of coal coke and steel, because I'm going to need to be able to make the arc furnace of all things to be able to get better energy conduits. So we'll go from there. Anyhow, we need to look at the process that I want to use to make bone meal. So what I want to make bone meal with is an atomic reconstructor with a lens of color and a little bit of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work this backwards, because I want to kind of try to keep this in a reasonably decent close fashion to how this thing is going. I want to make it kind of you know, kind of clean, hopefully kind of clean. So we're going to put the atomic reconstructor about right there. And I think if I recall correctly, that is going to be pretty close to that. Okay. So you're going to go buzz because you're set to the deactivation mode, and that is fine. Let's back him up one. Right there. That's probably exactly where it was, but whatever. And I want to wire this so that he is going to be easy to make work with a pressure plate. So the way that I usually set these up, actually I should not have broken out all of those, is I take a redstone torch and I put it on the bottom of a block right there so that that holds that off. Because basically what I want to do is, as long as that torch is off, I want this thing to run. If you drop an item on a pressure plate, it will run once and then stop. If it doesn't use up all the items that are sitting on that pressure plate, it won't stop running. So like I said, if I have it on deactivation right here, if you put it on pulse, it will run one iteration if you give it a redstone pulse, and then it'll stop. So what I want it to do is I want it to run until there is no redstone signal left. So we're going to take a pressure plate, and I'm going to go grab my redstone conduits, and I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to do this. All I need to do here is click that and click that, and I want to set you to extract, I should say input, we'll just do that on green, and I want you to be a strong signal output on green. So I'm going to take the signal coming out of that and put it right into this block over here so it can shut that redstone torch off. Now I can do this actually with an item filter, and I believe there is a, well, we can look at it later. I don't think I have a filter, but you can do that with an item filter as well. There is a ore filter, which you can craft. I think it's an ore, not filter. This will just basically invert the signal coming out of that, but that's what that redstone torch is doing. That's just one of the easy ways to do that. You can set this up using redstone doing normal things, but for whatever. That will, come here, go away. That will run as long as there is a block on that pressure plate. Can you drop a block on the pressure plate, please? That'll just sit there and run. Seriously. Back up. Is this on? Yes, I guess it is on. Now run. There we go. And it'll just sit there and run as long as that item sits on that pressure plate. That's exactly what we want to do. So as soon as all of the items are used up, that will then stop running. So if we take that off, he stops running. So that's what we want. Alrighty then. So what we need to do now is we need to feed the output of this process using a system to drop items onto this. So I'm going to place a, let's see if I can get this right there. I'm going to place a automatic precision dropper set into just drop everything all the time mode, so that that drops right straight down onto this thing all of the time. So, and I can now kind of cover this up a little bit to keep some of the stuff from flying all over the place when it wants to do things. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to feed the input of what we're going to change into bone meal. Now, the idea here is I want to get to the first step. I guess I don't need that one. I want to get to the step before bone meal in order to be able to use that. And the step before bone meal is orange dye. So orange dye is pretty simple, easy to make. So, you know, orange dye is just orange dye is just red and yellow pigment or red and yellow dye. When we can get something out of these two guys that I want to, we're going to exploit the vanilla functionality of these two flowers. So let's go ahead and grab the rest of the stuff that's in here. I don't think I need you. And I'll grab all of this, and we're going to go ahead and set this process up. So the next thing is I'm going to build it backwards. Again, we're going that direction. So I want to put an automatic or a crafter tier 2 that has 4 different recipes in it so that I can, well, like I said, so we can craft the basic dyes. So we're going to go to orange dye from here. So I want to put a conduit over here like that, and we're going to make sure you're set to always active, and you're going to set to insert for right now. And I'm going to program the first recipe. So the rose bush is going to be that, and I want you to go into the input buffer and apply. I want to take you and do this so that you're going to go to the input buffer and apply. Then we're going to take one of those, and do that, and one of those, and do that. And I'm going to take the next recipe and go rose red and yellow, and this is going to go in the output. So apply. There we go. Awesome. So if I take these guys and these guys, that's 4 pieces of bone meal out of 2 flowers. Tick, 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 tick. That went in there, and that should go to work. Awesome. Hey, give me those back. There we go. Cool. Alrighty then. So I want to actually shut that off so that I can finish programming this. But I need one more bush and one more bush. Nope. And one more rose bush, a little bit of rose red, one more sunflower, and a little bit of this stuff so that I can then go ahead and toss these guys in here. We need to program the system. So I want to, I'm going to have to probably go get a little bit more of these. Let's go grab a little bit more of this. So 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. Awesome, 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 awesome. All right, I want to put one of those there, one of those there, one of those there, and one of those there. And then I'm going to use, what did I do with all that stone? Did I use it up already? Yes, we did. We'll just grab us a little bit of cobblestone. Let's see, cobblestone for a blocker, so that we can keep from filling this thing up too badly. All right, so that, and that. And I'm going to go ahead and craft you guys into one of those and one of those and make enough dye so that that doesn't fill up the thing. So we should have the dye in there. Yes. Okay, cool. I don't want to be too, I don't feel like running back over there again. So, all right. So I got 6 of those. I want to fill up all of these slots right here so that I can hit the remember button. So now it'll remember all of the slots that that stuff's in, so I can take that cobblestone out, and it'll remember that this stuff is in here. So that's perfectly fine. Awesome. So now all I have to do is feed flowers into that thing and then give it some power. Well, I am going to then work this again backwards. So we're going to put another range collector over here, which is going to be whitelisting only those 2 flowers. I'm going to put an extractor, or put a conduit right here so that we have a little bit of speed in between these 2. You could use a flat transfer node if you want. It's just a little bit slower. I want this to be pulled out of there as fast as possible because this thing's going to craft like crazy. This process is very fast. So once we get this point going on, this is ridiculously fast. So we're going to set a couple of pieces of dirt right there. I am going to use, I guess, these as a blocker, and this is a blocker, and we're going to use 2 mechanical users. Actually, I guess I could set them behind it this time. Let's see here. Let's put it behind it. Click, click. Mechanical user. That's perfectly fine. I want you to be a use item on block, top slot only, and I'm going to fill these in so that they don't get full of bone meal. Use item on block, upper left slot only. Do that, and I want you to run with a redstone on signal. Where is my flowers? So if I put that down and that down, I guess I could put you back here, but it doesn't really matter. Those are just going to sit right there. And what's going to happen is this, these automated users, when I tell them to, are going to start making the flowers that we need to be able to craft the bone meal, or I should say craft the orange dye so we can craft the bone meal. So let us get the rest of this system going on here. I want 2 exporters on the back of these guys, and I want 2 detectors on top of them. And these detectors are going to be set to bone meal. We'll start with 500 right now, and I want you to emit when signal below the amount. So bone meal 500 below the amount, under the amount. Thank you. And then I can just take a cable and run it between those 2 guys, and they should have the system. So hopefully right here, right there, there's not something in the way. I think I'm actually going to have to go a little higher. Yeah, it's right there. Okay, fine. That's okay. Oop, nope, 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 nope. Don't do that. Up and then down. Thank you. And we'll put you back. All right, so those should give me signals. So these things should now be able to see all the stuff that we need to do. what we're going to do is basically what's going to happen as soon as I turn this thing on, it's going to start throwing flowers and things all over the place. So I want to, for sure, why is that? Whatever. Always active. Always active. You're going to start dumping that in there. That's going to pick that stuff up. So, or that's going to put it in the world. So it should be running all the time. Now that accidentally made a bunch of other bone meals. So I'm going to set this range collector to allow it to pick up the various things that are going to happen out there because it can see it. And I am going to give it a stack upgrade because we're going to be making a lot of bone meal. So that's going to chase itself around actually until it gets back to where it needs to be. That's the only problem with that thing is that they can, come here, you. Get out of here. We don't need you. Go away. Cool. So, all I should have to do now is split this bone meal up into 2 pieces and set you bone meal, and put that much in there and that much in there and stand back and watch it work. Oh, we need power. Uh-oh, we need power. Power. We can do power really quickly. Let's just break that torch and do this. And that's okay, because it'll craft it really quickly. We'll put one of those up, and where is my wrench? Thank you. I think that works through walls. It works through solid blocks, so let's see. Do that one. And away it goes. Well, it throws them quite a ways. That's part of the reason why we have a little bit of glass here. We're going to put a little glass on top of this to just keep that stuff from getting all over the place. Can I put something right there, please? Yes, thank you. That should keep them in check somewhat. That'll work for now. And we're basically just cramming flowers into that thing as fast as we can possibly go. We're actually ahead on the dandelion yellow right now, which is fine. Now, we go in here. That number will start to climb as soon as we start getting excess stuff. So we're doing better than we were doing before. Let's see what we have now. 17, 16. I hope we should be getting enough. Is it bone mealing both of them? No, it's only doing one of them again. That's the only problem is the initial beginning. You are working, right? Yeah, we're working. No, we're going. Come on. Boy, those things are slow. I may have to make some speed upgrades for those. You know what you could do? Do we have any of those on us? Where is our... What did I do with my little bag of holding? Hello, bag of holding. Where did you go? Please tell me I didn't just throw that off the... Where did my bag of holding go? That's awesome. Well, that's interesting. Wonder what I did with that thing. Not like I really care. I just have to make all the stuff that's in it again. Let me see. I want item translocators things. Thank you. That will be a little faster. Not like it really matters. This is going to catch up and go like crazy here in just a little bit. We'll put you back there, and I will do... Did I just grab one? Translocator. Give me one of those, please. How did it end up over there? That's weird. Okay, you go to work. Go faster. There we go. Now we're making stuff work. And that's just going to sit there and run until we fill up the bone meal in these two guys, which this will stay full. And then once it fills these guys up over here, or fills this drawer up over here, which we are already at a net gain from where we were, so that'll just go blink. So we're going to get a little bit more. That will run until it gets 500. It will clean out all of the excess that's in here, which is going to be a little whale. That should hold, I think, did I put an orange one in that, or did I put an upgrade in this? Did I? Yes, I did. So that's going to hold quite a bit. I want to try to keep around 1,000 of that around at all times because we're going to need it for the skeleton skulls and a few other things. But yeah, that's what we got going on right there. So we're going to let that guy run for a little bit. What I want to do next, and I guess since we have a little bit of time left, and I don't know what I did with my bag of holding, I'm going to have to go look for it. Whatever. I must have thrown it on the ground, and I must have lost it, or I tossed it in the void. Who cares? It's a pack about making all kinds of unnecessary, useless things. Let's work on dirt. How I want to craft dirt is I want to use this recipe right here. And that's going to be pretty simple, easy to do. So let's go ahead and just finish this off very simply by doing that. So where's my crafter? And I need a filter. That should work. And I want to set this up here. And I think I still have 2 places left. I do. So one of those, one of those. I want you to do a stack of this and you to do a stack of this. Thank you. And we will set this up for that process and this up for that process. And I actually need a strict item filter. Do I have one of those? No. Well, let's go ahead and craft one. Start on that and comparator. 2 of those, please. I need to set that recipe up because I use it a lot. That is the limited item filter. Thank you. I want that out of there, please, and we're going to do this. So put you right there with an insert on green. Cool, I didn't change that. You strict item filter this, or limited item filter, whatever you want to call it, that, and then you guys can do this, and that will make dirt. Wonderful. Insert on green. Fills that back up, and my wrench, always active. And up we go. Now, I've purposely done what I've done here to do that kind of a system. I'm using sugarcane because I want the sugar for the speed upgrades that are going to come with this kind of stuff. You can do multiple things to get the pulp biomass. So pulped biomass, any kind of plant or anything like that. Like I said, I'm using sugarcane because I'm getting sugar for it. You can do any of the other recipes that are around. I may eventually switch over to wheat. The only problem is it's kind of expensive. It's 8 sugarcanes. So it is a kind of a slow process considering I have 1 sugarcane over there running on 1 deal using a, what is this, an automatic breaker with a ender chest. And it just basically every time this ticks a redstone. If you didn't know this, you can use redstone on SNAD and it will tick this and make it grow faster. So anyhow, I think, let's go see, how are we doing? We're at 300, almost 400. That's nice. Have we made a mess yet in here? No, we're staying right about where we were. That's awesome. This is probably almost full. That's going to be the only problem is the slow part is this thing now, but that's fine. That's exactly what I want out of it. So as soon as that gets done, which we should be getting there shortly. Yeah, another couple of things. So that's 400, 442. Come on. Drop the next pile. Stand here and wait on it. And I wonder what I did with that. I must have tossed it. I'll have to watch the footage back. That's awesome. It's probably sitting in the ground or who knows where. I guess I don't really care. I don't need it. It was just full of a bunch of useless tools at that point. So it's one of those, oh great, I dropped my black bag on the ground and I have to find another one. So we are almost there. Come on. Get to where you need to be one more time. There we go. So it should stop. They're done over here doing their thing. Yes, wonderful. Lights are off. And this is just going to work through what's left of the stuff in here, and this is just excess from when we started the process, so we'll just get rid of him so that it doesn't back stuff anything else. But this is going to be one of those processes I will have to come out and kind of occasionally check on it and make sure it's not having a problem, because if we run out of bone meal in one of these things right off the bat, if I run out of bone meal in one of these, it will only bone meal one flour and then fill up this thing full of the one flour. So we're going to have to keep our eye on that. But it should technically be pretty decent to continue working. And I might just find a better dropper for this. Open crate probably would be better, actually, because it'd just take whatever it gets and just dumps it right into the system. But we'll work on that later. So, alrighty, guys, that's what I wanted to do. Got the dirt up and automated, and I've got the bone meal up and automated. So that's actually going to fill up here fairly shortly, and that's cool because that means I can now start doing some stuff with that. We have the TNT automated. We have bone blocks automated. We have at least the beginnings of a couple of things going on. Can I get my thing to go here? So clay. That means I have the beginnings of both of these dirt recipes. I have the beginning of that done, which is literally just going ahead and getting all of the drops of evil. So we will work on that process probably next time, because I wouldn't mind if you nether stars. Wouldn't mind if you nether stars at all. Because I can make a dragon egg. So this is one of those things. We could definitely get to working on some of this. So what else is in here that's worth looking at? Oh yeah, Draconic. We're going to need this for Draconic too. So automating Wither is probably fairly soon, but Draconic's a ways off. Anyhow, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one. I hope you have a good one. Bye.